Anyone else who would like to tell me what confidence means to you? This could always also be a question in your final round. You never know. Anyway, just I mean, I think this question is quite relevant to everyone as an individual. What does confidence really mean to you? No one else? All right. So, confidence to me means that, as Deepmala said, that, feeling that, feeling capable, feeling really good about doing something, and also getting that push from it to do whatever I am set out to do. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि हम कुछ चीजें सोचते हैं लेकिन हम उन चीजों को इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं करते ये सोच के कि क्या हम कर पाएंगे. I don't think that I'm good enough. I don't think that I really am as good as XYZ, right? So these, जब हम वो confidence अपने अंदर create कर लेते हैं, see confidence, becoming confident is a journey. Like I said, it is not something that आज मैं आपको ये session करा दूंगी and you will become very confident. I'm not saying that, but when you learn these things, when you try and implement these things in your life, जब आप ये चीजें अपनी जिंदगी में वो करेंगे कि हाँ जो हमने आज सीखा है, let's do it bit by bit. Being aware is also a superpower. जब आप में वो awareness है कि हम कैसे confident बनेंगे और आप वो चीजें implement करेंगे, then you will definitely become very confident. So let this journey begin and never end. क्योंकि हम कितने confident हो सकते हैं उस पर कोई limit नहीं लगानी है. We should just become so confident that हमें कोई भी force, कोई भी external factor deter ना कर सके, पीछे ना खींच सके, right? So, okay, if I talk about becoming confident, do you think कि सिर्फ अच्छे कपड़े पहनने से या अच्छे से बात कर लेने से या अच्छा दिख लेने से हम confident बन जाते हैं? No. So becoming confident, becoming that person with high self-esteem starts inside. So we need to work our way inside out. हमें वो काम अंदर से शुरू करना है, सिर्फ बाहर से नहीं, right? बाहर की भी बहुत जरूरी है, अंदर का भी बहुत जरूरी है, बट जब हम अंदर से कॉन्फिडेंट फील करते हैं, जब हम अंदर की अपनी उस इमेज को चेंज करते हैं, तो बाहर ऑटोमेटिकली सब अच्छा होने लग जाता है. सो इट ऑल स्टार्ट्स विद इन. सो लेट अस टॉक अबाउट सेल्फ इमेज. व्हाट डू यू थिंक सेल्फ इमेज इज? डज एनीवन हैव एनी आइडिया व्हाट सेल्फ इमेज इज? सेल्फ इमेज या इनर इमेज हम इसको कहते हैं. सो we all know that image is something that we project to the outer world, right? जब हम अपने आप को मिरर में देखते हैं वो एक इमेज है. जब कोई हमें बाहरी दुनिया में देखता है, like you are seeing me, I have an image that I am projecting on you, right? And it would depend on many factors. So the image that I have projected on you, you will perceive it in your way. But when I talk about inner image, it is about कि हम अपने आप को कैसा देखते हैं. जब हम अपने आप को अच्छा देखेंगे तभी हमें कोई और अच्छा देख पाएगा. सो इट इज अबाउट द इमेज दैट वी सी फॉर आवरसेल्व्स. अब कई फैक्टर्स होते हैं जब हम जैसे बचपन से या लाइफ में कभी भी एक कंडीशनिंग होती है. देयर आर थिंग्स दैट हैव अफेक्टेड अस एंड स्टेड विथ अस. बचपन में हमें शायद किसी ने कोई बात बोली होगी, चाहे वो फैमिली मेंबर है, चाहे वो फ्रेंड हो, चाहे वो पड़ोसी है, बट देयर आर सम थिंग्स दैट मेक अ हाउस इन अ हेड and we don't and we start to believe in it. तो वो चीजें जो है उसको हम कहते हैं कंडीशनिंग, एंड दैट समटाइम्स अफेक्ट्स आवर सेल्फ इमेज. कभी हमें किसी ने कुछ अच्छा बोला, हमें तो बहुत अच्छा फील होता है, बट अगर कोई हमें कुछ एक चीज भी कुछ बुरी बोलता है या कुछ भी क्रिटिसाइज करता है, तो आप लोगों ने ये देखा होगा दैट वो हम पे इतना अफेक्ट करता है, हम उसी के बारे में सोचते रहते हैं. बट व्हेन यू हैव अ पॉजिटिव इनर इमेज, वो चीजें आपको अफेक्ट नहीं करेंगी, बिकॉज यू हैव let go of that negative self image. आप जब अपने आप को मिरर में देखते हैं तो आप हमेशा क्या बोलते हैं? there is some self talk going on, right? Whenever you're sitting by yourself or when you see yourself in the mirror, there is always something going on in your head. एक self talk चलती रहती है. How am I looking? Am I becoming too fat? I think मैं उतनी अच्छी नहीं लग रही इस ड्रेस में जितना वो लग रही थी, so these are some things. and very often ऐसा होता है कि हम ये जो self talk है ये हमारा धीरे धीरे करके एक नेगेटिव सेल्फ इमेज पैदा करने लगता है, एंड वी स्टार्ट टू बिलीव दैट वी आर नॉट गुड इनफ. सो दैट इज समथिंग वी रियली नीड टू वर्क ऑन. नाउ how do we create that positive self-image? It is very important. I think as I tell this to whoever consults me for image or personal development. This is something that we need to begin with. Whether it is a child, whether it is a grown-up woman, whether it's a girl, whether it's a some professional working the corporate, it is important to create that positive self-image. Now you have to sit with yourself. You have to really identify कि हम अपने बारे में क्या सोचते हैं. Whether and you need to make an inventory. जैसे हमें कुछ सामान ऑर्डर करना होता है, हम इन्वेंट्री बनाते हैं, है ना. हमें कहीं जाना होता है, हमें पैकिंग करनी है, तो हम एक इन्वेंट्री बनाते हैं कि हमें क्या क्या चीजें ले जाना है. उसी तरह से आपको एक इनर इमेज इन्वेंट्री बनानी है कि बीइंग वेरी ऑनेस्ट विथ योरसेल्फ. आपको अपने आप को ब्लफ नहीं करना है. बीइंग ऑनेस्ट इज द की टू क्रिएटिंग अ पॉजिटिव सेल्फ इमेज. आपको किसी और से नहीं पूछना, आपको सिर्फ अपने आप से पूछना है. यू हैव टू राइट डाउन कि व्हाट आर द थिंग्स दैट आई रियली थिंक अबाउट माई सेल्फ. ओके, देन आइडेंटिफाई कि इनमें से कौन सी चीजें पॉजिटिव हैं, कौन सी चीजें नेगेटिव है. जो चीजें नेगेटिव हैं, लेट इट जस्ट बी फॉर द टाइम बीइंग. कंसंट्रेट ऑन व्हाटएवर यू हैव रिटन पॉजिटिव अबाउट योरसेल्फ. ओके, सो जब आप वो पॉजिटिव चीजों पे कंसंट्रेट करेंगे, आप देखेंगे कि धीरे धीरे जो नेगेटिव चीजें हैं वो अपने आप कम होती जा रही हैं. राइट, जैसे लाइट एलिमिनेट्स डार्कनेस, वैसे ही अगर आप पॉजिटिव होते रहेंगे, उन पॉजिटिव चीजों पे कंसंट्रेट करेंगे, आपकी नेगेटिविटी अपने आप कम होती जाएगी. दैट नेगेटिव सेल्फ इमेज पार्ट. And it is a journey, like I said, so you need to sit down with yourself and really do it. Okay, then define your personal goals and objectives. हम सबके goals होते हैं. कभी कभी क्या होता है that हम वो गोल को दिमाग में सोच लेते हैं that okay, this is my goal is to win this pageant. But have you written it down somewhere? Have any of you written down your goals somewhere? So unless and until you write down your goals and objectives, they are not really goals, okay? They will be very vague. So define and write down your goals and objectives and figure out your actions, how you are going to achieve them. Set realistic and measurable goals. Now goals can be very vague, but goals need to be realistic, okay? आपको ऐसा गोल सेट करना है जो आपको रियली बूस्ट करे, जो रियलिस्टिक हो, जो सही में अचीवेबल हो. आप अगर कोई ऐसा गोल सेट करेंगे जो कि somewhere out of this world or something that is really not attainable, then that will hamper your self esteem and confidence. So you have to set goals that are realistic and measurable. Measurable का मतलब होता है कि आपको पता है कि इस समय तक, you give it a timeline, तब तक हम अपना गोल अचीव कर लेंगे. Then a very important point, stop comparing yourself to others. Very often हम लोग अभी स्क्रीन में भी when you all see each other, तो इंसान, और सोशल मीडिया का एज है, we all know, right? So we keep looking at people on social media. अरे ये तो ऐसी थी, ये तो बड़ी अच्छी हो गई है, and अच्छा क्या किया है इसने. So we constantly, ये हमारा एक वो हो जाता है trait. It's like a default way of thinking, but we need to change that. We need to understand that everybody is unique. And being unique is your superpower. Nobody can be you. Only you can be you. So you don't have to compare yourself with anyone else. Just be yourself and focus on how you can forge a self that is very strong, confident, and amazing. Then develop your strengths. Now we all know that we have strengths and weaknesses, right? वीकनेसेस का पता होना बहुत जरूरी है, लेकिन वीकनेसेस पे कंसंट्रेट करना जरूरी नहीं है. डोंट कंसंट्रेट ऑन योर वीकनेसेस, कंसंट्रेट ऑन योर स्ट्रेंथ्स. एंड वीकनेस आपकी, जब आपको अपनी वीकनेस पता होगी, व्हाइल यू आर डेवलपिंग योर स्ट्रेंथ्स, यू विल ऑटोमेटिकली स्टार्ट टू डिमिनिश योर वीकनेस. आपकी वीकनेस अपने आप थोड़ी थोड़ी कम होती रहेगी. सो ऑल्सो व्हेन यू नो अबाउट योर वीकनेस, इफ देयर इज सम पर्टिकुलर वे ऑफ वर्किंग ऑन इट, जैसे अगर किसी की let's say communication skills बहुत अच्छी नहीं है, they would love to learn how they can improve their communication. So what are the steps that you need to take? So identify your weaknesses, figure out a way how you can eliminate that weakness and get going. But don't let that weakness hinder your self confidence. कई बार क्या होता है, हम वीकनेस जानते हैं लेकिन हम उस पर वर्क नहीं करते, तो हमारा सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस हिंडर होता है. So you have to understand what your weakness is and you have to start working on it. Also अपने स्ट्रेंथ पे भी वर्क करो ताकि वो स्ट्रेंथ जो है और स्ट्रांग होता रहे और स्ट्रांग होता रहे, राइट? दैट इज द वे हाउ यू कैन फोर्ज अ स्ट्रांग सेल्फ. Give positive affirmations. Like I said, I started the session with positive affirmations because I really believe that affirmations work miraculously well in everyone's lives if you really feel it. So try this out for a few days and let me know whenever we meet next again that write down 3 affirmations or 2 affirmations or 5 affirmations every day, whatever works for you. Affirmations का कोई fixed format नहीं होता. Affirmations is whatever you feel is apt for you. So every morning have a, I don't know if all of you do journaling, but I have a journal, I have a planner. Every morning that I wake up, I start my day with affirmations. And when I feel those affirmations, I say it aloud to myself 5 times or 10 times, or maybe even thrice, depending on how much time I have at that time. But give that time to yourself in the morning. Write down those affirmations while feeling them. ये नहीं कि बस लिख दिया हो गया. No, you have to feel those affirmations. Like I said in the beginning that I am becoming the best version of myself. If you're feeling it right now, you will really start on that journey. Or every day say this affirmation. एक दिन की journey नहीं है ये. Do this every day. I am the best I can be. I am going to achieve whatever I set my mind to. So these are some wonderful affirmations. If you can have ample amount of affirmations for anything that you want, whether it's health, finances, relationships, your personal goals. So affirmations can be of any kind. There is no limit, or there is no limit to any particular kind of affirmation, right? So write down these affirmations every day and feel them, say them out aloud, and start your day. See how your day will just magically change. You will start to feel so much more better about it. Remember that you are unique. Like I said, nobody can be me, nobody can be Paulomi, nobody can be Anamika, nobody can be Deepmala. So these are the names that I can see right now, so others don't feel bad. I mean, I can just see a couple of names because my screen is sharing. So if each one of you is unique, you have some strengths that others don't. You look a certain way, you have your own personal style, you think a certain way. So everybody is unique. Believe in this fact, and that being unique is everyone's superpower. I am Khushbu, and that is my superpower. Okay, now I will figure out how I can chisel myself to become a better version of myself. Learn to love yourself. It is very underrated. इस चीज को बहुत कम वो दी जाती है वजन कि सेल्फ लव. सब लोग सोचते हैं सेल्फ लव इज वेरी सेल्फिश. हम अपने आप को ज्यादा प्यार करें. एंड देन स्पेशली बीइंग वुमेन इन आवर कंट्री, हमने हमेशा देखा है बहुत जनरेशन से कि औरतें तो सैक्रिफाइस करती हैं. जो औरतें सैक्रिफाइस करती हैं उनको बहुत अच्छा माना जाता है. एंड दैट लास्ट रोटी शी विल सैक्रिफाइस फॉर द फैमिली की नहीं आप लोग अपना पेट भरिए, हम लोग देख लेंगे. So when done by choice, it is a good thing. I say that women are very powerful. We have that kind of resilience, we have that kind of strength, we are very strong emotionally. There is nothing that we cannot fight. But if these things are done by choice, then that is good. I mean, if I want to sacrifice that last piece of pizza and offer it to someone in my family, then I think it is a good thing. But when I'm made to feel that way, that no, just because I'm a woman in the house, I have to sacrifice that piece, then that is not good, right? So there's a very thin line, and we need to understand that self-love is something that we need to really, really embrace. मैं अपने आप से जितना प्यार करूंगी, जैसे जब भी मेट का वो डायलॉग है ना, मैं अपनी फेवरेट हूँ. सबको वो डायलॉग याद होगा बिकॉज इट इज अ वेरी वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग डायलॉग, वेरी पावरफुल. उस टाइम हमें बहुत मजा आया देख के मूवी, बट अगर अब बैठ के सोचो मैं अपनी फेवरेट हूँ, सच अ स्ट्रॉन्ग सेंटेंस. वी ऑल नीड टू बिकम आवर फेवरेट, है ना? हम सबको अपना फेवरेट बनना है. वी शुड बी आवर ओन बेस्ट फ्रेंड, आवर ओन एली, आवर ओन फेवरेट. क्योंकि अगर हम अपने आप को प्यार नहीं करेंगे तो हमें कोई दूसरा क्यों प्यार करेगा? You cannot really pour out of an empty bucket or an empty cup. आपकी जब खुद का ही कप खाली हो तो आप किसी और के उसमें क्या डालोगे? So start loving yourself. Give time to yourself. Understand that how you can love yourself more. Just start doing it. And don't let anyone else make you feel bad about it. Self-love can be saying no. Saying no to someone when you don't feel like saying it is self-love. Spending time with yourself is self-love. Doing what you like is self-love. Dressing up for yourself is self-love. There are 1 million things in the universe that can be under the category self-love. Identify कि आप अपने आप से प्यार करने के लिए आपके क्या तरीके हैं. Do that. Okay? So learn to love yourself. Remember how far you have come. हमारी जो गोल्स हैं, हमारी जो जर्नी है, हमारा जो टारगेट है शायद आगे है, लेकिन कई बार हमें क्या होता है कि हम सोचते हैं यार अभी तो हमने इतना ही किया है. यू नो देयर सो मेनी पीपल हु आर डूइंग सो मच इन देयर लाइफ, हम पता नहीं कब उतना करेंगे. बट आप कहां से कहां आए हो, आप उस पर कॉन्सेंट्रेट करो. हो सकता है यहाँ पे कितने सारे लोग हैं जिन्होंने सोचा ही नहीं होगा कि हम किसी दिन किसी ब्यूटी पैशन में पार्टिसिपेट करेंगे, है ना. So remember how far you've come. All of you are sitting right here. All you wonderful ladies, and all of you have the potential, the capability to do so much more in life. So always remember to, remind yourself that I have come this far, and it is not easy. Everything needs courage. Everything needs need perseverance. So you have come this far, and many congratulations to you. Congratulate yourselves, pat yourselves on the back. किसी और के बोलने की जरूरत होनी नहीं चाहिए कि यार तुम कितना अच्छा कर रहे हो. नहीं, हम काफी हैं, हम अपने आप को बोल देते हैं. ओके, बाहर की वैलिडेशंस आर गुड, बट ना भी मिले तो कोई बात नहीं है. बिलीव इन सेल्फ वैलिडेशंस, वैलिडेट योरसेल्फ. ऑलराइट, सो these are some things that you really need to do to inculcate that positive self image. मैं ये नहीं कह रही हूँ कि सब कुछ एक ही बारी में कर लो. I think सब कुछ एक ही बारी में करना बहुत ज्यादा हो जाता है. Start little steps at a time. और यहाँ पे कितने सारे लोग हैं जो आप कहते हैं कि we are perfectionists. कोई है जो perfectionist की आइडिया में बिलीव करता है? So, being a perfectionist, I think, according to what I think, trying to do something at the best of your ability is a very good thing. But perfection to everyone is a different thing, right? Perfection is a very illusionary word. कभी-कभी क्या होता है, हम कुछ स्टार्ट ही नहीं करते हैं ये सोच के कि हम तब स्टार्ट करेंगे जब वो परफेक्ट टाइम आएगा. हम तब स्टार्ट करेंगे जब हम इस चीज को परफेक्टली कर सकते हैं. बट वो टाइम फिर बहुत लेट होता जाता है. सो प्रोग्रेस ओवर परफेक्शन ऑलवेज. ओके, so try and take those little steps in creating that positive self image. Don't try to do it all at once just so that you do it perfectly. Try and take those little steps, because progress over perfection always. All right, when you keep progressing, automatically then आपका result ऐसा आएगा that you will see that you have done it possibly for yourself, not for anyone else, yourself, right? Okay, sorry. Okay, so now comes a very important thing, self-esteem. Okay, self-confidence, self-esteem, these are the things that are very interrelated. When you create a positive, so chances are that if you have a positive self-image, you will be a person of high self-esteem. और जिसके सेल्फ एस्टीम हाई होता है उसको दुनिया में भी लोग उसी नजर से देखते हैं. जब अगर आपका सेल्फ एस्टीम कम होगा, देन यू विल नॉट फाइंड योरसेल्फ वर्दी इनफ, और दुनिया भी आपको उसी नजर से देखेगी. दैट इज व्हाई योर सेल्फ वर्थ इज योर नेट वर्थ. ओके, नो वन इज गोइंग टू रेज दैट बार. आपका जो नेट वर्थ है, आपका जो वर्थ है, जो दुनिया वाले आपको देखते हैं, you cannot blame anyone else if people see you as someone who's incapable, if people see you as someone who is not confident. It is not about them, it is about you. So work on your self esteem, and once you have worked on your self image, positive self image hoga, apne aap self esteem badhegi. All right, so what are the ways of improving your self esteem? You have to think positive. यू हैव टू अवॉइड नेगेटिव एग्जैजरेशंस. हमारे डिफॉल्ट थिंकिंग होता है कि अगर हम कुछ नेगेटिव में जाते हैं तो एक नेगेटिव लूप में चले जाते हैं. अच्छा ये अच्छा नहीं है क्योंकि मैंने ये ठीक से नहीं किया था. अच्छा लास्ट टाइम भी तो मैंने ये गड़बड़ कर दिया था. ओ उसने मुझे बोला था कि शायद ये मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगी. सो दीज आर द थिंग्स, यू नो, वी गो इनटू दैट लूप. अवॉइड डूइंग दैट. अगर कुछ भी नेगेटिव दिमाग में आता है, just take a note of it कि हाँ मे बी ये चीज है that I want to improve upon, but don't exaggerate on that thought. ठीक है, उसको ज्यादा तवज्जो मत दीजिए. एक्सेंचुएट द पॉजिटिव. अपनी जो पॉजिटिव चीजें हैं उनको आप एक्सेंचुएट करिए, बढ़ाइए. एक्सेप्ट imperfections. There is nobody who's perfect really. Do you know someone who's perfect? Even if we think that maybe someone is perfect, but उनकी भी कुछ होंगी चीजें जो हमें नहीं पता. So no one is really imperfect. No one is really perfect. Accept your imperfections also, right? Because आपकी uniqueness का part imperfection भी है. जो आपकी imperfections है वो किसी और की नहीं है. So it is okay. I mean, accept them. Just love yourself the way you are. Replace criticism with encouragement. जब भी आप अपने आप को criticize कर रहे हैं, उसको रिप्लेस कर दीजिए एनकरेजमेंट के साथ. encourage yourself every now and then, even if something did go wrong. जैसे अगर आपने कुछ स्टार्ट किया एंड वो नहीं हुआ तो आप ये सोचेंगे यार ये तो फिर से नहीं हुआ, शायद मैं ये कर ही नहीं सकती. इंस्टेड ऑफ सेइंग दिस, टेल योरसेल्फ यार तो क्या हुआ नहीं हुआ, एटलीस्ट आई ट्राइड, राइट? बिकॉज एवरी टाइम यू फेल it is a lesson. Failures are not failures are not really failures. Failures are lessons that you learn at every step of life. There has been no success story without failures. If I give you a challenge to find me one success story that has been without failure, I am sure आपको नहीं मिलेगा कोई भी एक बिना failure की success story. So make failures a part of your journey. Embrace failures because those are your stepping stones to success. जितनी बार आप फेल करोगे उतनी बार आप एक लेसन लोगे. जितनी बार आप फेल करोगे उतनी बार आपको पता चलेगा कि आपको क्या नहीं करना है सक्सेस पाने के लिए. So start to embrace failures. Don't feel guilty for things that are not in your control. Very often we consume ourselves in thinking कि यार वो फलना इंसान तो चेंज ही नहीं हो रहा, वो सिचुएशन तो चेंज ही नहीं हो रही, यार वो उसकी गलती थी, उसको चेंज होना चाहिए. बट इज इट रियली इन आवर कंट्रोल टू चेंज समवन एल्स? नो. So don't waste your time in and energy in changing something or thinking about something that is not in your control. Be responsible for your feelings. Don't invalidate your feelings. आपकी जो feelings हैं उनको importance दीजिए, उनको recognize करिए. And sometimes क्या होता है कि हम ना, if we say that we are not feeling okay and someone says क्या यार कुछ नहीं, ये तो होता रहता है, it's not a big deal, and we are like हाँ यार चलो कह रहा होगा तो होता ही रहता होगा, it's maybe it's not a big deal. But no, it is okay to not be okay. वो toxic positivity जो होती है ना, that is very toxic, इसलिए उसको toxic कहते हैं. If you are not feeling okay, know that okay, it is okay to not be okay. Take your time, अपनी feelings को register करें कि क्यों हम ऐसा feel कर रहे हैं, what is the real cause. And when you start doing it, you will be much more in control of yourself, of your own emotions. And emotionally intelligent people are are people who everyone really wants to be with in any walk of life. So be those people who are responsible for their feelings, who know how to control their feelings, who recognize their feelings, and they understand that it is okay to not feel okay. Focus on what you can do, not on what you can't. So like I said, don't focus on what you can't do. Focus on what you can do. Be more self-aware. Self-awareness is key आपकी जर्नी ऑफ सक्सेस के लिए. आपको अपने बारे में जितना आप सेल्फ अवेयर हैं उतना आपके लिए अच्छा है आगे लाइफ में जो भी आपको करना है उसके लिए. ओके, नाउ I want all of you to write. I'll give you 1 minute or maybe 30 seconds. It's not a big deal, but yeah, take your time, take 15-20 seconds. Write down write down 2 adjectives that you think are relevant to you. I am dash and dash. You have to write it down in the chat box. And so this is something, it is just something to get you started. But what you need to do is you need to write I am. एक आप छोटा सा A4 साइज का पेपर लीजिए, उस पे बड़ा बड़ा I am लिख के 4-5 adjectives लिखिए that make you really, that you relate with, and something that really makes you feel good about yourself. Okay, and stick it somewhere in your room or anywhere behind the door, something that you can see. जब आप कुछ एक चीज देखते रहते हैं ना, it's a constant reminder to you that okay, I am whatever you want to write. Okay, if I say that I am kind, I am ambitious, I am adorable, I am friendly, whatever adjectives you want. So write down 2 adjectives for now and do this activity. Stick it in your room and see how it works magic whenever you feel low on something about yourself. Okay, so there are some responses that have come in. I am optimistic and hardworking. I am, Shubhra says I'm positive and ambitious. Shikha says I'm very goal oriented. I'm ambitious and loving. I am ambitious. Okay. I am determined. Great. I'm enthusiastic. Yes. I'm charismatic and trustworthy, optimistic, benevolent, passionate, strong, and beautiful. Lovely. So these are some things that you need to constantly remind yourself of. And when you do that and you keep seeing it in front of you, you really will feel it. You really will constantly remind yourself of that. I'm helping and friendly. I'm very positive minded. I'm positive, beautiful, and strong. I'm a loving person. I'm the best. I'm very passionate and helpful. Okay, great. So thank you so much. I'm really, delighted to meet such wonderful ladies who really believe that, they are all of these things. And it is lovely because no one should tell us that we are not. We are what we believe. Okay. There's one more response. I'm friendly, strong, loving, best, etc. So never use the word etc. Okay. Etc. मतलब कि हाँ मतलब और भी कुछ. Choose the adjectives that you really, really believe in, that you really think you are, and write down. चाहे वो 2 ही हो, चाहे वो 4 हो, चाहे वो 5 हो, चाहे वो 10 हो, बट जो हैं, जो आप रियली फील करते हो, वो आप अपने लिख के अपने रूम में लगाइए, विद उसको डेकोरेट करके लगाइए, सुंदर सा लगाइए, ताकि आपको देख के वो अच्छा लगे. ओके. I am adorable. All right, great. So let us proceed. Now, have you all heard about the term first impressions? Do you all know what first impressions are? Will somebody like to unmute and tell me what they understand by the phrase first impressions?
Your personality.
Who was that? Okay, so first impressions, yeah, so personality is a part of the first impressions. So every time you meet someone, you met me today for the first time, right? I'm meeting you all for the first time today. So the moment you all saw me, there was some kind of impression that you formed in your head, right? चाहे मैंने तब तक बात ना भी करी होगी, but आपने मुझे देखा, या आप किसी से भी मिलते हो लाइफ में, new people, you form an impression. Those are the first impressions that are really important. Suppose I sat here looking very ungroomed myself, looked very unprofessional. Maybe, if I sat here wearing a t-shirt and a very casual t-shirt, आप लोग जैसे मुझे देखते तो you would have felt right कि she calls herself an image consultant, she's a trainer, but she doesn't really look that way. And that first impression that you form, चाहे मैं अभी कितना भी अच्छा बोल लेती ना, वो change नहीं होता. You would have not believed in whatever I would be saying right now because you formed an impression that time. So, for example, agar I don't know how many of you are married or how many of you have kids or not, but suppose you have a kid in your family, okay? And that's a really small baby, maybe 6-7 months old. The baby doesn't know how to talk. And the baby is wailing, the baby is crying, बहुत ज़्यादा रो रहा है बच्चा. आपको समझ ही नहीं आ रहा कि बच्चे को क्या हुआ है, आप उसको हॉस्पिटल लेके जाते हो, आपके सामने दो डॉक्टर्स हैं, ठीक है, एक डॉक्टर है जो बिल्कुल डॉक्टर की तरह दिख रहा है, वेयरिंग स्पेक्टिकल्स, शर्ट, द वाइट कोट एंड यू नो ट्राउजर, जैसे डॉक्टर्स दिखते हैं, जैसा डॉक्टर का इमेज है हमारे। एक दूसरा डॉक्टर है हु इज वेयरिंग अ टी शर्ट, हु हैज टैटूज ऑल ओवर हिज हैंड्स एंड ही हैज हिज हेयर वेरी जेल्ड, एंड ऑल्दो इज अ वेरी गुड डॉक्टर, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि वो डॉक्टर खराब हो गया है ये सब करने से, लेकिन आपके पास अगर ये दो ऑप्शन है, आप कौन से वाले डॉक्टर को अपना बेबी दोगे देखने के लिए? The first one most likely, right? Because वो जिस तरह से दिख रहा है, you've already formed an impression. चाहे वो डॉक्टर कितना भी अच्छा, आपको क्या पता उस डॉक्टर की क्या क्वालिफिकेशन है, उसने कितने बच्चे ट्रीट किए हैं, वो कितना अच्छा डॉक्टर है, बट जस्ट बिकॉज यू सॉ दैट डॉक्टर, you don't trust that doctor in you know with your baby. So that is how important first impressions are. And the most important part of first impressions are that you never get a second chance to make a first impression. आपका फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन वही रहेगा, यू विल नेवर गेट अ सेकंड चांस टू मेक दैट फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू रिसर्च, according to a lot of experiments and a lot of research, it has been proven that a first impression, if positive, it really helps inculcate lifelong relationships, whether it is professionally, socially, personally. But if a first impression goes wrong, it takes multiple attempts to change that first impression. Okay, suppose किसी को आपने खराब फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन दिया अपना, वो चेंज करने के लिए चाहे आप कितना भी चाहो कि वो यू नो यू फील दैट नहीं ऐसा नहीं है, लेकिन वो फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन चेंज करने के लिए आपको बहुत सारी मीटिंग्स लगेंगी, आपको बहुत एफर्ट लगेगा. यू डोंट वांट टू डू दैट, राइट? So really be very aware of first impressions because they are very very important. Now what are the elements of first impression? अब कुछ तो एलिमेंट्स भी होंगे जिसके हिसाब से इंसान फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन परसीव करता है. इट इज क्लोथिंग, ग्रूमिंग, बॉडी लैंग्वेज एंड एटिकेट्स एंड द वोकल कम्युनिकेशन. क्लोथिंग, नाउ कपड़े तो हम सब पहनते हैं, अपने हिसाब से हम अच्छे कपड़े ही पहनते हैं. Now clothing, I don't mean by clothing that you know we should wear clothes that look very expensive or clothes that are very branded. No, clothing के fundamentals ये हैं that you should wear clothes that are appropriate, clothes that feel authentic to yourself, clothes that are affordable. So you have to, because clothing is a visual aspect. Now what I'm wearing is something that you can see clearly in 1 second. The moment I sat here, at the moment I switched on my camera, you could see what I'm wearing. I can see what all of you are wearing. So clothing is a very visual aspect. Then grooming. Grooming में बहुत छोटी छोटी चीजें भी आती हैं, like you know how our nails are done, how we've made our hair, how you know how our clothes look, whether they are ironed, whether कोई dirty scuffs या stains कुछ ऐसा तो नहीं है. So all these are a part of grooming. So we all need to be well groomed at all point. So you know it becomes a habit. जैसे अगर आप क्लोथिंग और ग्रूमिंग को इंपॉर्टेंस देंगे, ये आपका ऑटोमेटिकली एक हैबिट बन जाएगा, एंड देन यू विल नॉट हैव टू पुट एफर्ट्स टू डू इट. बॉडी लैंग्वेज एंड एटिकेट, इसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे. यू नो वी कैन नॉट गो मच इनटू डिटेल बिकॉज़ ऑल ऑफ दीज आर वेरी वास्ट टॉपिक्स, ओके, इन देमसेल्व्स. सो वी विल टच अपॉन ऑल ऑफ दिस. सो यू सी हियर दैट क्लोथिंग, ग्रूमिंग, बॉडी लैंग्वेज एंड एटिकेट, ये सारे जो है विजुअल चीजें हैं. एक वोकल कम्युनिकेशन है जो विजुअल नहीं है, जो चीजें हम सुन रहे हैं, बिकॉज जो मैं बात कर रही हूँ, जब मैं बात करूंगी तभी आप सुनोगे ना कि मैं कैसे बोलती हूँ, लेकिन बाकी सारी चीजें तो आपको पहले ही दिख गई. सो 80% of our impressions, of the impressions that we give to people, are visual in nature. So it is very very important to look our part, okay? And when we, so no matter how well we dress, no matter how much you know how many accessories or how good we look, but अगर वो अंदर का इमेज या वो सेल्फ एस्टीम या सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस में कमी होगी ना, तो वो कहीं ना कहीं हमारे बॉडी लैंग्वेज में दिखता है. So that is why I said that it is important to change it inside out, because so that when you dress and when you you know look that part, You should also feel that part, and that is when you will come across as as a confident individual. Okay, do you all agree with this? Super. So vocal communication is also sorry, I was just reading the chat, so I think missed out, because you know when I'm sharing the screen, I do not focus chat पे क्या हो रहा है ज़्यादा when I start presenting. So Shikha said the first impression is the last impression in which you look perfect. Okay, so Shikha, as I said, you know, there's nothing like perfect, but yes, you need to make sure that you don't go wrong when you have this chance to form a first impression on someone, right? जब ये ब्यूटी पैजेंट का फिनाले होगा या जब एलिमिनेशन राउंड होंगे, जब आपके सामने अलग अलग जजेस होंगे, आपके पास वो एक ही मौका होगा वो इंप्रेशन फॉर्म करने का. ओके, उसके बाद वो मे बी वो सेम जज ना रहे, मे बी आपको वो चांस दोबारा ना मिले. सो डोंट go wrong there. That is what I mean, right? Vocal communication again is an important part, because you know, how we talk also creates also makes a lot of difference. It also helps in creating or validating that first impression, right? अगर मैं यहाँ पे बैठी, मैं अच्छी लग रही हूँ, सब कुछ अच्छा है, लेकिन जब मैं बोलना शुरू करती हूँ और आप में से किसी को समझ ही नहीं आता कि मैं बोल क्या रही हूँ, मुझे कुछ पता भी है कि नहीं जो मैं बोल रही हूँ, और you know, something that did not make sense, तो आपका जो फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन था जो आपने फॉर्म किया है, हो सकता है फिर वो वैसा नहीं रहता. So vocal communication is also huge. Also 20% of it is vocal communication. Okay. Now, let us talk about communication. You know, do you think that there is ever a time when we don't communicate? Do you think that we do not communicate when we are silent? So, you know, we cannot not communicate. Yes, Sharon and Shikha. So communication is something that is always happening. Even if you're not talking, even if you're just sitting idle, we are communicating always. Why? Because it is not only through the words that we communicate. Our body language gives out a lot. So this is a communication framework that was formed by Albert Mehrabian. He was a very, very renowned psychologist. And he, after a lot of research and experiments, he found out that 55% of our communication happens through the body language. 38% happens through the tone of voice. 7% happens with the vocal, the verbal communication. Not the vocal, the verbal. Because tone of voice is vocal and the words are verbal, okay? So the difference between vocal and verbal is how we say. How I'm saying what I'm saying is vocal. What I'm saying is verbal. The words form the verbal aspect of communication. So this is what Albert Mehrabian said, and this holds true. कभी आप observe करना, जब आप body language, मैं थोड़ा बहुत आपको भी बताऊंगी, but if you're sitting in a cafe and you know there's someone who's sitting idle, or someone who's talking to someone, or not the other person who's listening, or even in your house, if someone is sitting and you know, talking to each other, you can just observe, looking at the other person, about, you know, things like how interested in is that person in the conversation, how that person is really feeling about, you know, a certain situation. That is, so body language really gives out a lot. All right. Now, the vocal and verbal elements are tone, pitch, word stress, volume, rate of speech, pause, vocabulary. These are the vocal and verbal elements. Now, what do I mean by tone? जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना कि हमारा tone जो है हमेशा pleasant होना चाहिए. So we do not need to sound unpleasant at any point of time, especially in formal situations, because we do not want to offend anyone, whether in the professional or formal context. मतलब घर में तो चलता है कभी कभार हमारा थोड़ा सा टोन इधर उधर हो जाता है तो, but that is why we in formal and professional situations we need to make it a point that our tone is very, very pleasant, right? Our pitch, our word stress. जब हम कोई सेंटेंस बोलते हैं, हम किस वर्ड पे स्ट्रेस दे रहे हैं उससे उस सेंटेंस का पूरा पूरा मीनिंग चेंज हो सकता है. So practice these things. See, these things will only come from practice. So when I stress on the word, I am stressing and emphasizing that yes, word stress is important. I am stressing on word. So this means that I am stressing on word. It is me who's important in the sense because I know how to stress on each word. So every word that you stress on changes the meaning of your sentence. Volume is very important. You do not want to be inaudible. You don't want to come across as someone who's too loud. So you need to know that what is the volume that sounds that is suitable and sounds pleasant. Rate of speech. अगर मैं बहुत धीरे धीरे बोलूंगी तो शायद आप लोग का इंटरेस्ट कम हो जाएगा, राइट? सो जैसे जब अटल बिहारी, नो ऑफेंस, आई मीन आई रियली रिस्पेक्ट हिम, बट वी ऑल यूज्ड टू फील दैट ही इज अ लिटिल स्लो विद हिज स्पीच एंड ऐसा लगता था थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्ट कम होता रहता था. बट so rate of speech is very important, and even if I go very fast, I think most of you will not understand what I'm saying. So very slow or very fast. मैं बचपन में बहुत फास्ट बोलती थी and I really worked upon my speech because a lot of people told me कि हमें समझ ही नहीं आता तुम क्या बोलती हो. So I had to work upon it, and we do not want to do it when we have an opportunity where we can really, where we really want to be the best version of ourselves. So rate of speech is also very important. Pauses. So suppose there's a question that one of the jury asks you in your question answer round. हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हमें वो जल्दी जल्दी आंसर कर देना है, मतलब बिल्कुल वो, you can pause, you can take the time, you can take 5 seconds to understand it, then recollect your thoughts and start answering. Even when you are answering, take time to pause in between. Make the pauses sound very part of your speech. Make them sound very organic. जो रुक रुक के बात करते हैं ठहराव के साथ, उनकी बातें ज्यादा समझ आती हैं. So make pause also a part of your. Pausing is not a sign of not knowing. कई बार हमें ऐसा लगता है कि अगर हम रुक गए बोलते बोलते तो दूसरा इंसान सोचेगा कि हम भूल गए या हमें आता ही नहीं है. अगर भूल भी गए कोई बात नहीं. Pause, take time to think, not a long time, but take a few seconds to recollect and then start talking again. Vocabulary. Now, using vocabulary that is appropriate doesn't mean using vocabulary like Mr. Shashi Tharoor. Okay, vocabulary doesn't mean using complicated words. Vocabulary का मतलब ये है speech में कि आप ऐसे words use करें जो सबको समझ में easily आ जाए. You do not want to use too many jargons or abbreviations or some kind of slang that is not going to be understood by a lot of people. ठीक है, तो आप अपने ऑडियंस के हिसाब से वर्ड्स ऐसे यूज करें जो सबके समझ में इजीली आए. Don't use words that are very complicated. Don't use words that are too highfalutin. Don't use words that are jargons that cannot be understood by everyone. Don't use a lot of idioms. So use a language, use a vocabulary that can be easily understood by most of the people in the audience wherever you are talking. All right. Now let us come to the visual elements. Again, body language. Now who will tell me what you understand from body language? I know you all have done a session wherein you've been told about some body language, right? Appropriate body language. Yes. तो कोई मुझे बता सकता है? There's nothing wrong or right. Don't hesitate in talking. See, this is where you practice. आप आज बोलोगे, नेक्स्ट सेशन में फिर बोलोगे, आप देखोगे कि धीरे धीरे आप में वो कॉन्फिडेंस आ रहा है. एवरी टाइम यू टॉक यू स्पीक बेटर. So who will tell me about body language, appropriate body language that you remember from your last session or something that you already know? Yes, no one? Where are all the enterprising ladies? Yes, no one remembers from the last session of body language that you all did. अरे मैंने तो सोचा था कि बहुत लोग बहुत कुछ बता देंगे मुझे, कि मुझे बताने की जरूरत ही नहीं
Repeat the
पड़ेगी।
question. Ma'am, please repeat the question.
बॉडी लैंग्वेज का सेशन एक आप लोगों ने किया है ना इसके पहले?
Khushbu, they have put in their messages in the chat box, so you could take a
Oh,
look. Yeah.
all right. Sorry, I forget to look at the chat box once. Once I'm too involved in this. Yes, the way we carry ourselves, our attitude, eye contact, confident posture, gestures, actions while we're talking, how we talk, smile, our postures, thought process, and how we accomplish certain things. Right posture, expressions, the way we express ourselves, and confidence. Okay, yes. So all of you wrote things that are really a part of our body language and physical behavior. Yes. So our body also keeps communicating all the time, right? Our facial expressions, our hand gestures, our so if it is not a virtual session, our foot and everything that you can see in the body is also communicating something or the other. So when I talk about body language for your virtual sessions, you need to be really aware that you have to, first of all, it is very important to make an eye contact and smile. Okay, when you make that eye contact, you already come across as a confident individual, and the other person will really feel that yes, you know what you're saying. And if you don't make that eye contact, if you look down, you will come across as someone who's not confident in themselves. All right. So it makes a huge amount of difference. And smile. So automatically when you smile, you set a very pleasant tone. Okay. A smile is a universal language of acceptance, of peace, of, the other person feeling very welcome. So how, see, what is important is how you also make the other person feel. What we say or what we do to a person does not have as much as an impact as how we make the other person feel. So when you smile, you make the other person feel nice, you make the other person feel welcome, you make the other person very comfortable. So a smile is a curve that really sets a lot of things straight. जब आप स्माइल करोगे और आई कांटेक्ट रखोगे, ऑटोमेटिकली आप में भी वो कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा, आप भी अच्छा फील करोगे अपने आप को स्क्रीन में देख के. आजकल तो ये एडवांटेज है ना दैट व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग वी कैन लुक एट आवरसेल्व्स इन द स्क्रीन and we see how we are looking. When you smile, when you make an eye contact, you will automatically feel nice. Then let us talk about the hand movements, hand gestures. So hand movements are okay to do once in a while. Okay, if you keep moving your hands too much while talking, it is very distracting. So if I keep moving my hands so much, you feel distracted. आप सोचोगे इसके हाथ को देखूंगी, इसकी बात को सुनूं. So you don't have to distract the other person. Okay, you have to make the other person focus on what you're saying. The agenda is to focus, make the person focus on you, not on your hands, not on anything else. All right. Then when we talk about our foot gestures, okay, foot tapping is a big no-no. Shaking our legs while talking is a big no-no. Again, sitting, our posture. When we sit straight, we automatically feel that surge of confidence coming in. We feel much better. आप कभी ये देखना that whenever you are feeling low, you will automatically be slouched, your shoulders drooping like this. But the moment you sit up straight, you will feel a fresh surge of energy go through you. Okay, so that is how important sitting your posture is. You don't have to be robotic, एकदम stiff होके ऐसे बैठ गए. No, you have to be at ease, but still your spine and shoulders straight. Don't droop or slouch at any point of time. Okay, that makes you come across as someone who is not enthusiastic enough or someone who is very low on confidence. Okay. What else? Okay, while listening. Okay, so since this is a virtual session, you sometimes what happens is when we are listening, we kind of tilt towards the person or towards the screen. It is okay to do that once in a while, but don't constantly sit like this. Okay, with just because you are listening to the person, or when you are moving towards the person every once in a while, it is a good sign to show that yes, you are a good listener. So suppose the jury is asking you a question, you go like this and you go back. Only if you have to, you don't have to do it necessarily, but sometimes it is a good sign. It's a sign of being a good listener when you just tilt a little and then go back. Okay, then again, when it comes to your dressing, grooming, and facial expressions, your facial expressions give out a lot. So make sure that you sound enthusiastic and you also look what you're saying, look like what you're saying. So suppose I say that I'm very excited to see all of you. You won't really believe that, I'm excited. But if I say I'm really very excited to see all of you, my voice sounded enthusiastic, my tone sounded enthusiastic, my facial expressions really, वो उसके साथ है जो मैं बोल रही हूँ. So अगर आपका बॉडी लैंग्वेज और आपके फेशियल एक्सप्रेशंस कोहेरेंस में नहीं है, मतलब एक उसमें नहीं है जो आप बोल रहे हो, आपके वर्ड्स के साथ नहीं है, तो पीपल विल मोस्ट लाइकली बिलीव इन द फेशियल एक्सप्रेशंस एंड द बॉडी लैंग्वेज, नॉट योर वर्ड्स. ठीक है? So it is very important to be aware of your body language and your facial expressions. Dressing, grooming. Now dressing, grooming. So all these, in fact, they are very, very vast aspects, but it is important to know the key takeaways that dress up according to your body shape, your, dress up or wear for colors that look good on you. Don't wear something that you really like. कई बार क्या होता है कि हम देखते हैं अरे वाह ये तो बड़ी अच्छी ड्रेस है, बट जब हम उसको पहनते हैं हो सकता है वो हम पे उतनी अच्छी ना लगे. So wear clothes that really go with your body type, your personal coloring, your personal style. Don't wear clothes just because they look good. Wear clothes because they look good on you. Okay? And clothes भी appropriate पहनना जरूरी है. So I could be wearing a t-shirt with a lot of sequins all over, but I like the t-shirt. It's a very beautiful t-shirt. It looks good on me also. But is this the situation to wear it? Is this the right occasion to wear a party-like t-shirt which has a lot of sequins and a lot of glitters going all over it? No. So it is important to figure out the right clothes for the right occasion. All right. Dressing and grooming में आपको ये ध्यान रखना है that makeup करो and do it in a subtle way. If it is a daytime, you don't have to look too जैसे बहुत ज़्यादा makeup या बहुत, but you have to, since it's a beauty pageant, you need to know that what are the features you want to accentuate, what are the features that you want to contour, what is it that you what colors look good on you, your personal coloring, everything you need to identify, and accordingly you have to groom yourself. What kind of a hairstyle will look good on you that will really flaunt your face shape. Okay, so there are many things that are there when it comes to dressing, grooming, and doing your makeup, making your hair in a certain way, nails, everything is a part of it. Now even accessorizing, accessories are a game changer. Okay, so when you accessorize the right way, जैसे आपका कुछ भी अभी क्योंकि virtual sessions है, of course your half your body is visible, but when you are doing that ramp walk, of course everything is visible, your whole body. So you have to make sure that you're wearing the right kind of shoe, you do not over accessorize. कई बार क्या होता है कि हम बहुत सारे accessory पहन लेते हैं, earring भी, बड़े बड़े neck piece भी, and bracelet भी. Even what kind of a watch you wear is also it depends on what occasion. So it is important to know the right art of accessorizing. Everything is an art. Dressing up is an art. Giving out first good impressions is an art. Accessorizing is an art. So everything is an art that you need to master. Okay. So you have to really, really sit and think. And there are many people who you can ask, consult with, where you will get to know that what is it that will really look good on you, whether there's some part of it that you want to improve, you want advice on, whether it is communication, your personality, how you want to do it. So everything is really important to be done in the right way. Now let us come to a point. So जो भी public speaking occasion होता है, public speaking is something that people are scared of even more than death. Can you believe me? लोग पब्लिक स्पीकिंग से इतना डरते हैं जितना वो एक्चुअली डेथ से भी नहीं डरते हैं. पब्लिक स्पीकिंग के ना, पब्लिक स्पीकिंग का ये मतलब नहीं है कि कोई बहुत बड़ी ऑडियंस के सामने स्पीच देना. अगर आप 4 लोगों के साथ नेगोशिएट कर रहे हैं वो भी पब्लिक स्पीकिंग है. अगर आप 5 लोगों के बीच में अपने आप को प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं वो भी पब्लिक स्पीकिंग है. सो पब्लिक स्पीकिंग इज टॉकिंग अमंग पीपल, मोर देन 2-3 people. दैट इज पब्लिक स्पीकिंग. So whenever you are sitting in front of the jury, whenever you have that question answer round, or even here, if you're talking, unmuting yourself and talking, that is also public speaking. Okay? So हमें बहुत नर्वस फील होता है. We don't get ourselves to talk. मतलब हम सोचते हैं कि यार मतलब पता नहीं अच्छा लगेगा कि नहीं, पर वो समझ पाएंगे कि नहीं. What if I really don't do well? What if I can't convey my message well? So these are the things that make us anxious. But see, these are some tips, instant tips to calm you down, to calm that anxiety. But what really gets you going? जो public speaking भी एक बहुत vast topic है, आपको उसमें practice चाहिए. You have to practice. Nothing really comes without practice. So the more you practice, the better you get at it. Now, these are some tips that can help you calm that anxiety. Just, you know, जब वो judges के सामने एकदम से जाना है and you feel, oh my God, मतलब अब तो मुझे एकदम ऐसा लग रहा है that, you know, the butterflies in my stomach. I don't think एकदम, you know, that anxiety, the feeling of feeling very anxious, that is when these things help. Power poses. You know, this is one power pose. This lady who's here, this is one power pose. When you, you know, spread your legs shoulder width से, ठीक है? थोड़ा shoulder width पे leg spread करके, and then you put your hands on your waist, stand and take a few deep breaths. You will automatically start to feel much better. When you again stand in the same posture and your hands are like this, okay? When your hands are like this, again, you will start. This is also power pose. So these are some power poses that really help in calming you down. Then deep breathing are belly breaths, okay? So if you do the correct technique and you do a few deep breaths, you will automatically start to feel a lot more better. Walk or do something to energize yourself. There are many theater actors like Jim Sar, who you know, they are known to go around running. वो दो भाग के आते हैं अपने play से पहले. Because no matter how much they've done, no matter, you know, there still comes a time when you feel anxious. You know, no one really stops feeling anxious, but it is how you overcome it, how you control it. He goes around runs, that really helps him calm down his anxiety, and he feels very energetic. So you also have to appear as someone who's energetic and enthusiastic. Visualize success. हम ये तो बहुत visualize करते हैं. Oh, what if I fail? What if they don't understand me? अगर मैं अच्छे से बोल ही नहीं पाई तो? ये सब तो हम बहुत, but change that. Start thinking, oh, what if I nail it? What if I give an answer that everyone really loves? So when you visualize success, it automatically calms your anxiety. Practice, practice, practice. Nothing really happens without practice. All right. So these were some, you know, these were some topics I felt was relevant to you. I would love to hear from you if you have any questions, if you want to say something. Yes, Sharon says a good handshake. Yes, in the physical world, but I think आजकल तो थोड़ा handshakes का वो है. But yes, if you're meeting someone physically and if you think that it is appropriate to you know, do a handshake, the handshake के भी etiquettes होते हैं. Like you cannot just shake hands in any way you like. So there are certain etiquettes to handshake also. But I don't feel for you because it is relevant right now because it is a virtual session. We can't shake hands, although we wish we could. But yes. So anything that any of you would like to ask, say. Okay. Yes, now I can see all of you. So I would request everyone to again switch on your cameras because I can see all of you again. And I would love to see all you wonderful ladies. Anything that you want to ask or say? Please feel free to unmute yourself and talk, ask any queries, any doubts that you have. अरे मैंने क्या इतना अच्छा बता दिया सब कुछ, किसी के मन में कोई डाउट ही नहीं है.
Hello, good afternoon. I just want to thank FCA for this. I really loved it. Yeah, it's amazing. I think everyone got this one. This is kind of appreciation from FCA.
Wow, that looks amazing. Although I don't know what that is, but yes, it does look amazing.
Yeah, even I got a crown.
The certificate of participation that each participant is receiving. And for those who haven't got, don't worry. These are separate batches. So we've started delivering and you will be receiving yours soon.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything related, you know, concern to Khushbu's session that you would like to ask, please go ahead. Please feel free. I am sure she would be more than happy to, answer and interact.
Yes, I love it.
I guess, Khushbu, you have sorted it and explained it pretty well.
Oh my God,
the
yes, wow.
the faces look really satisfied. And on that note, I have shared Khushbu's Instagram details and LinkedIn details into the chat box. Make sure you guys take a screenshot and of course follow her onto her respective platforms, because I'm sure there is a lot more that she holds the potential for and would be willing to discuss. So you can reach out to her personally as well. So thank you so much, Khushbu. It was an absolute pleasure having you here today. And, I don't think anybody has any questions, but still, if anybody does, you guys are free to go.
Yes.
You can get.
I would love to just take a picture with everyone. So can everyone just switch on their cameras and just flash the beautiful smiles? All right. All right. Thank you so much, ladies. It was a pleasure. I absolutely loved interacting with each one of you. And I hope that you really had something to take away from the session. And I really hope that you start implementing whatever you learned, because learning is a waste if you don't implement it. Yes. So sometimes we really need to unlearn a certain things that are so deeply ingrained in us. But unlearning and learning is what makes this journey of life beautiful. And always keep learning. I really believe in this, that I still keep learning each day. I learn from each one of you every time I take a session. There's so much that I learn myself too. So keep learning, never stop learning, and implement whatever you learn. Yes. Also, there is once you visit my Instagram, there is you can DM me if you have any queries, any doubts. If there's any consultation you want, there's a link in my bio that you can go to, and you can always reach out to me through my DMs, and on Instagram and LinkedIn both. So thank you so much. Thank you, Harry. It was amazing. Bye bye, ladies, and all the best to all of you.
Thank you, Khushbu. We shall take your leave. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Bye bye.